Welcome to the Bold Analysis. It is in record in this channel, we detest political violence. I normally call out whoever is involved. I think when Sakaja was pelted with stones in Kibera, I was the only analyst who said, no, that cannot be decent. Political intolerance is something that has to be denounced in this country. We've come from somewhere. We can disagree in principle, we can disagree on ideology, but it doesn't mean that you need to fight me. This is the basis of what I want to explain here. Dorcas Rigathi, the former the spouse to the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, organized what, according to the posters, was national prayer rallies, prayer event, and it was dubbed Nyeri chapter. If you look at this poster, you will understand the concept about this prayer event, and it was organized on Kamkunji grounds in Nyeri. As we look at the pictures and what was organized there, you can even see the tents. It was not such a huge event. In fact, it's just a congregation of people that are coming to pray. However, I appreciate the fact that Dorcas Rigathi has been a key vocal political figure around his husband, the husband, Rigathi Gachagua. So it is possible for the state mandarins to see that prayer event as merely a political rally. But even if you see so, even if you disagree with such an event, attacking hooliganism do not have a space. And for me here, I normally say, we can't take sides on hooliganism. A hooligan is a hooligan. You know, you don't just, this country, we need to accept decency. Decency is very important. So Dorcas Rigathi held that event today, and I want to play for you one of the snippet of videos when the event was underway.
People who stand and can be able to correct an error. We cannot sit as Kenyans and lie to ourselves and say the country is doing well. It is not doing well. We have too much wickedness. Ado matira gogoria gai wao. Ona gaisia mehiana no ira tugirio ne makatima. Ado ige orogerora ginya mitandao-ini koronio ate hinya wa ginya wa rogi wena hinya ona gukira wa Ngai. Uronire muthenya ungena guku Los Angeles. Na hĩndĩ ĩrĩa marekire ũguo ũmũthĩ mwaki ũrĩa wĩ kũu matingĩhota kũũhoria tondũ kwĩna Ngai matu-inĩ. Na ndũkehie ũikarĩte hau ũgeciria atĩ tondũ tũtirakuona Ngai ndarona. Kwĩ mũthenya Ngai aretua itua na nĩ arĩgũtuĩra, na watuĩrwo andũ othe nĩ makamenya Ngai wanyu. Mutahoya Ngai wanyu, mutathinga, mutathera. Rekei ndĩmwĩre ona mũngĩinĩra Ngai, ona mũtũre mwananagia, ona twĩkĩre nguo ta ici twĩ nacio, twĩkĩre kora na ngoro citũ ti thingu na ti theru, twĩna ungumania thĩinĩ wa ngoro citũ. Acio ticio arĩa Ngai araria ũhoro wao. Ngai witũ araria kũrĩa na kinya muthenya wa ũmũthĩ thĩinĩ wa Kenya. Ngai aroiga, if my people who are called by my name, there are people, not everyone. It is people who are called by the name of the Lord. It is not everyone that is going to pray and God is going to hear. It is not the wicked people that God is looking for. He is looking for the righteous people who know their God, people who praise their God, people who worship God in spirit and in truth, people who stand and can be able to correct an error. We cannot sit as Kenyans and lie to ourselves and say the country is doing well. It is not doing well. We have too much wickedness.
Immediately she finished talking, or rather she finished her sermon, a group of hooligans, young people carrying some logs and very rowdy in nature, stormed that event so that they could halt the event. And it is very, very embarrassing as a country, because the scenes of what happened there are not so much encouraging. Someone said, you can disagree with me. The right to assembly is enshrined in the Constitution. That right is not donated on political rightness or wrongness. It is not a donated right. The right to assembly is in the Constitution. Right to expression is in the Constitution. The freedom of worship is in the Constitution. So it is their constitutional right. Whatever the likes of Maina and Njenga and the team did is not encouraging. We need to say this, that there have been that grouping of Itungati, is it Ingati or something, but I've never seen them taking that confrontational angle. Maina and Njenga led the youths on 21st of December so that they could declare support for President Ruto in Nyeri. Of course, he was hired. He was on a mission to neutralize Rigathi Gachagua. There's nothing wrong with that. No one stormed that meeting in Nyeri on 31st December. No one stormed that meeting. However, the confrontational politics is a threat for nothing. In fact, what is the threat of Dorcas Rigathi? If it is Nyeri, I think Nyeri is already gone. Nyeri will not vote. Any other county can vote for William Ruto, but Nyeri will not give William Ruto the votes. So Dorcas Rigathi has a low threat profile in Nyeri, because I think the person that then holds the political voice is Rigathi Gachagua. The idea of picking up Maina and Njenga to try to crack down on Rigathi influence, to me, is an act of cowardice. It is an act of cowards, because that is not how to go about it. I need to say in this channel, I once spoke with Maina and Njenga in person. I think I still have his number, if you can retrieve it. And that was in 2023 when Maina Njenga was making some inroads in Mount Kenya. And we really raised, by that time, he was very popular because he was talking about the things that really matter to the people. And by that time, the state was struggling to portray him as a Mungiki militia, simply because he was going against the state. So I remember in this channel, he once even made a call and said, we should not link him with Mungiki, and he was rightfully so, that he should not be linked with Mungiki. And he said he was no longer leading that Mungiki. In fact, that Mungiki sect is already collapsed. That does not exist. However, today, I would boldly take on Maina Njenga and say this. Confrontational approach of storming people's events mirrors the horrific scenes of Mungiki. And if someone is telling President Ruto that the likes of Maina Njenga are helping him to neutralize Rigathi, then that person needs to be fired, because that person is lying to William Ruto. If someone is telling you that when you run the confrontational politics on Mungiki or confrontational politics in Mount Kenya, then you are supporting, you are suppressing Rigathi. No, you're not suppressing Rigathi. Storming Dorcas Rigathi's prayer event is the same as storming an event that Rigathi Gachagua is holding in Nakuru. It is one and the same scene, and it's attracting the sympathy on his side. I really believe, and there is no problem if Maina Njenga can consolidate some group of youth around him, to support William Ruto. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that, because that is also within his right. But there is a point where, when you use hooliganism, when you want to intimidate people using that, it is not the right thing. And I wonder why such is happening while William Ruto is on record saying that this is not time for politics. Let me tell you, such a crowd cannot storm that event if the security apparatus around that area are not compromised. They have to be compromised. They make that, they interfere with the people, intimidate them. And in fact, let me tell you, if that was Nyeri chapter, and then that happened, probably there are going to be other chapters in other counties. I want to believe so. Is it going to be possible? The answer is no. So the act of intimidating other people into silence, to me, political hooliganism, I don't have a place. There is no way. There is no second thought on hooliganism. And in this record, on this channel, when some young people were mobilized to attack Kalonzo at the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga offices, we called it out. We called it out. When the same was done on Sakaja in Kibera by a team that was organized by some local politicians, we called it out. Because there is no way we can't celebrate hooliganism. No way. So I want to say this. Maina Njenga has struggled over the years to disassociate with that outlawed Mungiki thing. He's really tried to talk, I'm not Mungiki. I'm not part of it. That is not me. But these activities mirror what Mungiki used to do. And I want to say this. The confrontational script, even if you want to counter your opponent, the confrontational script has been proven over time that it doesn't work. It is backward, it is outdated, and I like the word using stupid when I'm talking about hooliganism. Hooliganism is stupidity. It's not the next, it's not something that, because I like saying this. Wakati wewe umeleta vijana pale, that is an event that we have some elderly members of our society. We have some children. Then there is stampede. People start scampering for safety. Do you know who you can step on? Do you know who you can step on? You might not beat anyone. But when you create fear, then people start running, looking for safety. You create stampede. and the whole story changes different. So I think this is, if there is something that the country should accept, and we're heading to 2027, President Ruto team are saying haizi enda mahali, and I can tell you this, what the drums they're beating are the drums of war. And so such cases that of this hooliganism have to be called, because these are the same drums of war, and the country should not accept that. I have my reasons why I feel that confrontational script that Maina and Njenga, I know someone will compare this with what Rigathi did when he hijacked, when he went unannounced in that event in Murang'a. He went and announced that event in Murang'a. Did he hijack the event? He just went with the youths. He went direct to the podium. He was denied microphone. He left. But he never went there to interfere. And of course, it is an event that was attended by some handful members of the society. Confrontational politics script is not the right thing for this country, and that has to be called out in its ugly face. Maina and Njenga axis speaks purely politics without the option of consolidating a political machinery. I don't think you'll be able to compare Rigathi and Maina and Njenga. Rigathi has his own challenges and his own demerits and shortfalls, but you cannot compare Rigathi and Maina and Njenga, because Maina and Njenga, these activities are just, it's a paper tiger. Are just for the moment. Give me money, pay this youth, we do this to Maisha, story mender. But then, Rigathi is consolidating a political base. He's talking about, I want to do alliance with so-and-so, I want to do alliance with so-and-so. He's trying something. So you cannot really counter Rigathi through Maina and Njenga. It doesn't work. And I've seen Rigathi access saying they want to, consolidate some instances of human harassment on ICC. My advisory is this: let the ICC matter to rest. The ICC matter is going to pull the tribal card that was used in 2013, Ruto's tribal card. Ruto will go to Mount Kenya and say, these people now want to bring ICC so that they jail me, so make sure you elect me in the second term. So don't give them that. I wish it remains a political propaganda and it stops there. Number two, the blanket support of whipping members to join Ruto without really putting Ruto to task to deliver to them is not going to yield any result. The era of just saying let's follow, that era is diminishing, and people have started asking the real questions. Yes, we are following, but what is in it for us? So the question of what is in it for us is very important. What the likes of Maina and Njenga are doing is just a blanket follow. You follow because you need to follow. The other issue is this: there is a transition going on, and anyone who is perceived to be against Rigathi is on self-destruction path. This is not me saying. I have heard Jeremiah Kiel, the Jubilee Party leader, in Spice FM saying Rigathi stands the best chance, as we speak, to speak for Mount Kenya. And I don't come from that region, but I've heard leaders talking about this. So I don't think this will be it. I wish Maina and Njenga can still support Ruto, but not fight. And again, you fight Dorcas Rigathi. This is a church event. This is a prayer event attended majorly by women. Then you do that. The perception is this, that you're fighting churches. So I strongly believe that these events do not add anything on President's vote basket. In fact, if there's some few votes Ruto is still having in Mount Kenya, the likes of Maina and Njenga are just dropping those votes. They're not adding them, because it is a path of self-destruction.